Hot in here, literally and figuratively, after today's Mandamano and all the death and destruction. We have to find out what's the way forward. Narok Senator LEDAMA Ole Kina and Secretary General of UDA, Cleopas Malala, in the House. And gentlemen, I was asking before the break, what is the end game, SG? What is the end game? When is this going to end?
To me, as a Kenyan, we have an opportunity as leaders now to speak to each other, to stop these supremacy battles. If you have any good ideas, like my brother Ole Kina is such a bright idea. This is a good leader. If he has good ideas about how we can salvage this country, because we're in this country, and the pinch that is paining me, the same pinch that is paining Ole Kina. And therefore, instead of us involving ourselves into a supremacy battle, verbose hemorrhage, I will implore upon my brother here to come. Let us sit, give us ideas, give us proposals on how we can salvage this country. It is true, we are experiencing hard economic times. It is true, our economy is not doing very well at the moment. But we are trying our best as a government to try and salvage the economy. You've seen the efforts the president has put in. He tried by trying to salvage the farmers by giving us a subsidized farm inputs. You've seen the president giving even proposals on how he can increase and expand the tax base. We are trying to bring Kenyans out of this dungeon of economic depression.
But it's not working.
Therefore, whether it is working or not, it is not working. That is not the debate. What we are saying is, can we engage in a mature way? Can we engage?
You mean the opposition?
Yes, in a calm way, in a structured way. The Constitution envisaged that we shall have an opposition and a government. But that does not qualify violence. That does not qualify people losing their lives. We extended an olive hand to the Azimio brothers and told them, come on, let us come and have a bipartisan approach on this matter. Let us have talks. They came into the room, they left because they are used to violence.
Those talks are dead in the water.
Stand by.
Jeff, those talks are dead in the water.
We are still seated there, but they are out in the streets demonstrating. Let me ask you, Jeff, before even he comments.
You know the sad thing
after today's, after today's demonstration, has the cost of living gone down?
It's probably gone even further up.
Exactly. So who is causing the cost of living to go up? It is the same people who are trying to sabotage our economy. And therefore, we are still at the same. And you've asked about the way forward.
Yes. Hold on.
The saddest the saddest thing is that Ruto himself is not in touch.
He's not here to speak for himself.
He's not in touch. Hey, he's a public figure. I can talk about. Anyone can speak about me anytime. If you're elected into office, if you seek,
so he was elected into office.
If you seek a certain
so Ruto was elected into office.
You should be responsible.
President Ruto was elected into office.
Willing and ready to accept any form of criticism. He's sitting there. He's not in touch on the ground. He is sad today when the country was burning. He was enjoying.
So you are burning the country.
He was enjoying his lavish drinks and everything and entertaining foreigners when the country which he supposedly running, was burning. He needs to be in touch with the ground. Soon, sometimes he acts as if he can actually run or, he can rule stones. Kenyans are suffering. If you say, I want us to talk, I want us to solve this problem, then you need to practice what you preach.
Okay, Senator.
You cannot come in and say, every single policy that you're introducing, you are blaming another former government that apparently borrowed a lot of money. And there's nothing wrong with borrowing. If you borrow, you pay. The biggest problem we have is this. Ruto is surrounded by fools who don't understand how to run a country.
You can't say that. You can't say that, Senator. You can't say that.
Now,
I was asking you the question, what is the end game in this?
The end game. You want to know about the end game?
Yes.
People must come down from their ivory towers and face the reality, Jeff. People must understand that every policy they bring into this country has got consequences and other unintended consequences. And I'll demystify what exactly I mean by that. If today you come in and say, I'm lowering taxes for the multinational corporations like from 35% to 30%. Look at ABSA as an example. I'm just using it as an example because it's a multinational corporation. Recently, the first quarter, they said they had about 46 billion in profit. Now, by the end of the year, it will be 200 billion in profit. Instead of us taxing that 200 billion so that it can help this economy, we are sending it to South Africa because South Africa is where ABSA is best. What you're doing now is you are saying, I'm going to increase taxes on housing for Kenyans. You increase housing for Kenyans, what do? You come out and say, we'll end slums. No. In fact, what you're going to do is you're going to increase rural-urban migration. There'll be more slums in the country, more insecurity, because everyone will say, I'll go into the urban area because when I go into an urban area, there'll be houses that the government will provide for me to be able to stay there. You pay that person between 10 and 30,000. Everything goes up. You increase fuel prices. When you increase fuel prices, the prices of commodities go up. You think you're going to be able to widen the tax base. You're not widening the tax base. Increasing taxes, Jeff, is not collecting more taxes for the country.
You still
think? It's actually, no, you've asked me which is the way forward.
Well, yeah, what's the
way forward is this, and I have to repeat this. I said people must climb down from their ivory towers and face the reality. You cannot sit pretty in State House, or you cannot sit pretty in all these big offices and forget about the mamamboga who you promised.
But the president,
the
president is always on the ground.
Always on the ground doing what, Jeff?
Talking to the people.
Are you for real now?
He's always on the ground. He's touring the country.
He's not touring what? Going to churches and spending millions of money. Did you see how much he spent in his entertainment budget? Have you seen that figure?
Jeff,
go on, SG.
I've been pensively listening to my brother here, and I must attest and admit with all honesty that Raila is surrounded by very clever people. Very good people. And I can tell you, they only
you're not using abusive language.
No. It's true because if you listen, if you no, just a moment,
Because the problem.
Let me say,
my problem. You a compliment.
No.
Relax.
It's a sarcastic compliment because he's a drama teacher, and I'm not going to give him that. I'm not going to give him the benefit of saying that he's complimenting me because he's not complimenting me.
Go on.
What he's actually doing, and I'll tell you this, because it's better for me to tell him.
Okay, proceed.
This young man. Let me graduate him from being a boy to a man now. Yeah. The problem with him is this. He always thinks that he can be able to have a solution. He has the best things in. One of his biggest problems is that his ego now is bigger than his balls. And every time when your ego is bigger than your balls, you start falling down.
That's abusive.
You have to change that. It's not abusive. It's not abusive.
That's abusive.
You can say that to me. If there's anything
you can. You can't use that on TV.
Come on.
Go on, SG.
It is not about Malala. It's about our country.
It appears to be about Malala and everybody with UDA.
And I'm saying, and I want to continue from where I left, that Raila, from what Ole Kina has explained about his proposals to help this country come out of this economic dungeon, Raila is surrounded by very, very bright people. It's only that he's not using them in the correct way, because such minds were supposed today to be in parliament committees, to be exercising their mandate as elected by the people, to be tabling such proposals in parliament. But look at what Raila has done to bright minds of this country. He has taken such a bright mind to go demonstrate in the streets.
Jeff,
hold on. Let me rebut on that.
Whatever he's saying makes a lot of sense. We can engage on ideas. We can exchange ideas. We can have ideological differences. Whatever he was trying to showcase here is that we have got ideological differences between the government and the opposition. But the big question is demonstrating, going and taking our young people to the streets, losing lives, is it a solution?
Jeff, listen.
Is it going to Is it going to sort out the problem that we are having? How I wish my brothers from the Azimio side changed tactics, agreed that William Ruto was elected by the majority of the citizens of this country and the voters of this country. How I wish they would have crafted a way to which they can adjudicate their matters without necessarily causing death, without necessarily causing loss of lives, loss of jobs, without necessarily sabotaging our economy.
You're the same person who called for the arrest of Raila Odinga.
Yes, because a criminal is a criminal.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, now you're calling
Raila a criminal?
No. Wait. Today, if a normal citizen organizes for a demonstration and lives are lost, property is destroyed, that person will be arrested. Nobody in this country is above the law. What I was saying, the same constitution they are reading about the right to demonstrate, the same constitution envisaged the right to life. And therefore, you cannot read this constitution selectively. I want to implore upon my friend Ole Kina, kindly change tact. Think about Kenya.
Listen to me.
Think about the people of Kenya.
When I listen to...
When you respond, you make sure you don't use abusive language. It's a family show, my brother. It's a family show.
I do not use any abusive language.
You just did.
Every word I use is in the dictionary. Go check it. You're one of the best English speakers in this country, so refer back to even the Black English Dictionary, and you will see everything that I'm saying is written there with a definition, with a meaning. But let me go back to what he's saying.
Go on.
You see, I'm just listening to a wolf in sheep clothing. Because when they talk about coming in with ideas, if you look at the budget as an example, today in the Senate where he used to sit, although he was not there most of the time, where he used to sit.
Where was he?
Listen, he was out there running around with the police and everybody. You know, everywhere he goes, he causes a lot of chaos. So let me finish. I allowed him to be. I gave him for free. Listen, Jeff. Yeah. The problem is this. Today, the Liaison Committee has suspended every single sitting of committees in Senate because the National Assembly, which they control, has slashed the budget of Senate committees, so they cannot have Senate meetings. Number two, when you talk about them saying you can have very good ideas, we can have to discuss. No. For them, it is their way or the highway. They have come in, they have cannibalized political parties, they have taken all our former Azimio members to be able to. I can no longer. I am the minority. No.
You're blaming them for that?
You know what?
It's your fault.
It is not our fault. It is not our fault.
They allow themselves to be.
See, let me be honest with you, Jeff, and for you to understand this thing. The problem with a lot of minds in this country is that so long as you're sitting in the house in the hill, you know, you have to respect every authority that comes from there. I respect the Constitution. I do not respect cannibalization of political parties. If you are slashing the budget of the Senate and you are saying bring ideas, Senate has got brains in the Senate who can be able to...
You're the minority.
So even if we are the minority, and now he's saying, let us bring these brains there, let us sit down, you don't give them room. Look at what is happening. Right now, as a minority whip, Standing Order number 200 gives me the powers to be able to de-whip members. What did I do? And the Speaker of the Senate, who is on their side, does not even have a say with my position. He only does, I send him a letter, he sent it to committees. It has been 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks now, he's sitting on it. Because he's been told, no, don't allow them.
So Jeff.
They want, let me tell you, Jeff, what these guys are doing here, don't listen, don't fool Kenyans. We are sick and tired of being fooled. And that is the reason why we have to educate them, to show them that I, LEDAMA OLE KINA, I would rather fight for an entire year and save 80 years of this country. It has never been about Raila Amolo Odinga.
No matter the loss of lives?
It has never been about Raila Amolo Odinga. The loss of life is orchestrated by them. They are the ones with the guns. We have no guns. They are the ones with the tear gas. Today, he comes here and he says, oh, I want to express my condolences. How dare you make a mockery of young kids who are gassed today by the police in Kawangware? Innocent lives.
By the way, what happens to those policemen who shot the 9 people? What happens to them?
Yesterday...
No, answer that question. What happens to the policeman who shot the 9 people?
You know, we are not sure even if the police shot them.
Not sure.
We have institutions which are going to adjudicate that matter. We have IPOA.
There is no longer an institution in this country.
Lekina,
there is no longer an institution. Let's not lie to Kenyans.
If you want to use the same constitution to allow you to go and demonstrate, kindly allow the same constitution to operate.
Oh, it's selective now.
Yeah, you're the one who is reading the constitution.
Double standards. Come on.
We have the independent police oversight authority.
It is not independent.
We let's give them time to investigate on who shot the 9 people. But let me ask you a question. If today a terrorist came to Royal Media here and he was shot dead, will you protest over that? Will you complain over that? Because those people, you saw them torching down.
You're calling those
vehicles.
people terrorists?
Yes, those are terrorists. Somebody who can block.
Okay, I want to take
You know
another
what
break.
shocks me?
I got to take another
Jeff,
break. Yeah.
Before you take your
You know,
break,
you know,
let me tell you what shocks
Jeff.
me.
Yeah.
Today, did you read Ichung'wa's tweet? You know,
I didn't.
He called us. What did he call us? He called us murderers, and he said that we and the Githeri media we did not even spare our sponsors. What did he imply by saying that? Read his tweet. What he was implying is that the media in this country, which is supposed to be free, is controlled by Azimio, which is not in power, and that we in Azimio, even though Raila sat down peacefully,
My
and he
friend-
decided to not go out there because he saw the way the police were killing people. He sat there, he didn't do anything, but now Azimio and the media are the ones who are the terrorists. Githeri media.
Okay,
Come on.
that Githeri
Can you
note,
respect people?
on that Githeri note, let's take another break real quick. It's getting hot in here. My goodness, is the AC on, guys? Woof. Keep tweeting.
water.
That's Citizenship Kenya. There's the water right there. JK Live. JK Live takes a break. We'll be back. Are you guys sure you worked together one time?
My friend here is emotionally frustrated.
I'm not.